I'm ready and creating a game session. I'll be playing with bots. And I put the bots difficulty down a little bit since you haven't ever played. You'll get the idea of it really quick though. I mean, you know the basic understanding of MOBA type games. It's like, just pretty much make it to the other person's side and destroy their base.
Stream confession, I've been playing Vainglory on my phone.
What is that?
Vainglory, it's a MOBA on your phone.
Oh, I hadn't heard of that one.
It's not too bad. It's
Yeah, I'll
free,
take a
so,
look.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. Why not? Alright, still creating game session.
Still joining.
But yep, so I have decided, in between last video and this video, that the movie that you shall be watching for this week, since you're choosing a movie that you like, that you believe that I'll like, which I think I will as well, I'm going to choose a movie that I really like, that I'm positive you will like, but I think it will also make you squirm a little bit. So, with that being said, I will be picking the 2000 something, I can't remember where it came out, movie Hard Candy, starring Ellen Page and Patrick something or another.
That's totally cool. I will watch that and I will probably like it.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I've been told to watch that from a couple of people too, so you're not the only one.
It's a really good flick, in all honesty. It's very, very nerve-wracking, like tension-based movies like we were talking about a couple weeks ago. This one's up there with one of the better ones, in my opinion. And why are you still creating a game session? Alright. Oh, there we go. So let me see here. I got to pick my guy, which is... Where's he at? There we go. Lone Star.
Lone Star. Now you know that good is done.
I have very low expectations for the Spaceball sequel that's coming out.
That's fine.
I mean,
It's going to be hard to top.
Yeah, I want it to be good, but I just don't know. Mel Brooks hasn't done anything good in a very, very long time. He hasn't done anything, period.
The animated series sequel wasn't too bad.
It wasn't that good either.
It wasn't that good either, yeah. It wasn't too, yeah. He's got... Like, we talked about in the other stream, and, like, I love him to death in all things, but there are really weird pacing problems with all his movies except for Spaceballs, I feel. Like, and my favorite one outside of Spaceballs is History of the World Part 1. I love that movie, but there are just parts where it's like the jokes just die on the floor for a second. And then they go to another scene and they go back and they fail to join session. What was that all about?
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see here. Because say I'm waiting for other players. Press X to force start. Don't know if I can invite you from inside the game, but I'll try. Alright, so let's see here. Invite player, all friends, you. Alright, so you should be getting another invite here in a moment to an already started game. Sweet.
I saw a play version of Young Frankenstein not too long ago. It was really good.
I've heard those were pretty good. Unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity.
Got a pretty good little indie theater scene going on in San Antonio. And a lot of fun. Good. The guy who plays Frankenstein
Nice.
Peter Boyle worthy.
That's an interesting thing to hear. But yeah, for me, I think it might be a matter of taste, in all honesty. It's one of those things that, I mean, once again, as I said, the way that I view Mel Brooks' early stuff is pretty much comedy perfection as far as I see. Do I think that everything is absolutely perfect? No. But under the same circumstance, I believe it's some of the best stuff I've seen. Really? Shit. Let me get you another invite coming. I don't know why. Maybe, here, maybe I'll have you start up one and invite me in a minute and see if that changes anything. Alright, another invite is coming.
Yeah, I don't want to like call him an asshole, but like I think whenever the joke he did with other movies, really fucking good. Shot me in the ass, like,
Yeah.
tears every time. That good of a fucking joke. But then there's a little bit of nothing after that. It's kind of like, what just happened there? Is no one ready for the joke to end? What the fuck just happened?
I don't know. It's one of those things that, I mean, joke-a-minute comedy, to me, is very rare. That it actually works, so that it's actually good.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations of set up for the appropriate joke and deliver is much more important than the amount. Essentially, the amount of laughs aren't as important as the quality of laughs, in my opinion. So,
fair enough. I can totally do that. Favorite Mel Brooks joke there.
There's so many.
I can go right now.
Go, please.
I'll tell you. Favorite joke is History World Part 1. And it's such a stupid, simple joke, but just the way that Marty delivers it kills me every time. Just don't put saucy with me.
Yeah.
Just the way he fucking says it, just like slays me every time I see that fucking movie. And like I've seen the movie like 20 times. You know, I love the movie to death, but just don't get saucy with me, Bernays.
God, it's really hard to pick. Just off the top of my head, I mean, pretty much anything that Igor does in Young Frankenstein is beyond hilarious. I really do like the werewolf, their-wolf thing because it's so simple, stupid, and amazing. What else? Pardon Me While I Whip This Out from Blazing Saddles is absolutely wonderful. Some of the, pretty much all the racial stuff in there, just to where, to me, the same way with Hateful Eight, the reason that I was able to enjoy certain parts of Hateful Eight that were so horrible was just the plain fact of how it came out. Just the way that the characters, Jennifer Jason Leigh especially, used the word nigger it was so horribly comical that it was, I mean, it was unexpected as well as it was just ridiculous to hear.
It would help that she was like a caricature.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I had a thought for you. I was talking with Zach about this, and
okay.
there was the relationship between John Ruth and whatever the fuck her name is.
Yep.
Wasn't that the weirdest, most bizarre, sweet relationship that no one brought attention to in that movie?
Yes, and well, yes and no, obviously. It's
yes and no. Obviously, I'm not like condoning anything, but when he punches her in the face, that's the worst thing ever. But it almost kind of felt like the affection the dog owner would have for a dog that misbehaved.
yeah, I can definitely see that. He had no malice towards her as far as that goes. It was all about doing a job. But if she impeded in any way of him doing his job, she was going to essentially feel the repercussions of it. Which obviously she did, and in some ways, like, I don't know why I do it to myself. It's some type of weird masochistic thing. But I look at these stupid threads online. One specifically talking about the horrible misogyny of Hateful Eight and everything like that. And I almost think that it's misogynistic, the way that it was done, just for the plain fact it treated her just like any of the other horrible people in the movie. And
then, like, he was very respectful that, you know, he had a job, like you're saying, he had a job.
Yeah.
He would deliver this prisoner to said place. In the meantime, he will do everything that he can do to accommodate this prisoner. And like I was talking about, he hands her stuff, he gives her food, and he's genuinely kind of sweet to her.
Yeah.
And then she does something fucked up, and then she's got to be corrected like every prisoner.
Yeah.
It's just part of his job.
I definitely see the dog scenario kind of working out there as far as that goes, but because I mean he still views her as a human, but barely, I think. Like he doesn't want to fucking knock her around and stuff like that. It's just simply she's impeding.
Knocked around, but she's misbehaving.
Yeah, she's impeding him doing his job, pretty much. Is the way it's working.
You can kind of see in like the casual way that he does it. Like he's had numerous fucking times.
Yeah.
All sorts of other people. Probably the guy who lives there.
Oh yeah.
In that name. So it's kind of like I kind of wanted to see his ending. Just sitting there.
That would be interesting. Like I said, I would definitely pay to see that in a whatchamacallit, like a director's cut. Although we never will, but it's still a nice thought. No, that's, as I said, once again, thinking about that movie, I mean, I've heard everybody's complaints that they've had with it, and the more I hear about it, the more I think about it, and I just simply love that movie. It's not my favorite of the year.
It's not bad, like by any means. And like I know, like we talked about before, and it's like it could come off that I don't like it. It's just that I feel like it could have been better. It could have been like the way Jackie Brown is so personal in the end. You know, I love that last bit of Jackie Brown, him and Max Sherry. Sorry, Jackie and Max Sherry. Have that really human, tender moment at the end, and it's so fucking bittersweet.
Oh yeah.
Because Max just isn't willing to like give up his life, even though he claims he wants to give it up. He's not willing to give it up. Risk his life, put his life in Jackie's hands. It hurts. Like that ending was like, fuck, that's really brutal.
Yeah.
And I think that he could have done that, something similar to that with Hateful Eight, but it just turned into like, a Tarantino gore fest that just kind of gave you the same thing that previous Tarantino was doing, you know?
Yes and no. I mean, as I said, once again, I agree, it's a Tarantino movie through and through, and that's what I expect and that's what I got. So as far as having that in the scenario of being surprised, no. Do I still believe that the first act is better, or the first half of the movie is better than the second half? Yeah, I will agree with that, definitely. But not by much, in all honesty, and I think that the only major complaint that I can see is something that's necessary for the movie, and that being the flashback. The flashback really hurts the momentum of the movie when it comes in, because it comes in right there at the end. But it's also necessary to kind of explain the backstory, so it needs to be there. It's just, it does feel a little bit awkward, a little bit stilted where it's at. So I understand that people might have gotten thrown off on that. A fucking bot just took my power. You're not in here, are you?
No, I'm not. You gotta kick me out again.
See if you can start up one and I'll join. Once again, as I've told you before. Custom match, I believe I did. But yeah, no, once again, I said I would definitely not, under any circumstance, call it my favorite of the year. That is still being held by The Revenant, which hopefully one day you'll get to see in the near future. Because, not all gonna be wrong, there's a bunch of fucking haters online as well, trying to shit on that movie as well, saying all kinds of things, but it's possibly the best cinematography I've seen in a movie, and I will stand by that. Yeah, I mean, just the way that I can't even remember the guy's name now, but he's won Oscars back and forth for his cinematography, and it shows because he's just that fucking good. And I mean, it just keeps showing. the cinematographer. I mean, obviously the director won last year, and that's what some people are saying, that he won't win this year, but I disagree with that. I believe nobody's ever actually won 2 years in a row as far as director or movie, but I see it happening this year. Just for the plain fact, I still haven't seen Spotlight and Trumbo, which are two of the other, well, Spotlight, Trumbo, and Room, all of which are supposedly big contenders for the
Spotlight's not bad.
yeah, I hope it will be great.
Time that Michael Keaton Rachel, what's her name?
McAdams.
Put into story.
Oh yeah.
Damn. All about that when that people get really method in their acting.
Yeah, meth can be really fun. I mean, when it's done well, yeah, it's absolutely amazing, no doubt. And I've got high hopes for it. Some of the reviewers that I watch that I really get into absolutely adored that movie, so I have very high expectations for it, and I'm sure that it's going to deliver. I have no doubts. But, we all know, we'll see. I mean, that Trumbo is a very masturbatory film, it seems, for Hollywood. But I'm still very interested into it. I love Bryan Cranston. When he's at his best, nobody can beat him as far as I'm concerned. But even though this isn't necessarily the role, oh, there you go. My invite. Because I mean, once again, I know you said you still hadn't finished Breaking Bad, right?
I finished it.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, that's perfection. Yeah,
it is an excellent show. It is nerve-wracking as fuck, and I will never watch it again because my nerves cannot take it. It is hard to watch.
Yeah, and as it should be. It was supposed to be. I mean, it's a crime
masterfully
show.
done in every facet. I mean, just like the book at the end when Hank discovers the book.
Yeah.
And you kind of go back to when Hank is talking about something or other in the season previously, and Walt has this weathered response where he's talking about Walt Whitman, and like you don't even pick up on it, but
Yeah.
at some point, what the guy gave him the book that said that had the Walt Whitman thing in it, and he's just like, that motherfucker gave me this book about Walt Whitman.
Oh yeah.
It was so good. It was, yeah.
Yeah, so once again, I mean, I'm not as big a TV guy as you are, but I just haven't seen an entire series keep me as engaged as Breaking Bad did. I mean, Breaking Bad, every single episode just had me glued to the fucking screen. Were some of the episodes a little bit more weak than others? Sure, of course. I mean, 5 seasons of at least 15 episodes a season. It's hard to keep that momentum going constantly, but it does a fucking hell of a job. And I'm just getting the joining game session thing, spinning. I hope this isn't going to be an issue.
Yeah, I'm already playing.
Huh.
Ow, I'm getting shot by people and I died. What's going on?
You join
Let's
one
play
that was
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, we can figure this out at a later time. Let's see here. GTA's.